Welcome to our Granny Triangle Beginners Tutorial. For this tutorial we have our tools, our scissors, our tapestry needle, our size G 4.0 millimeter crochet hook. The yarn that I'm using is Red Heart Super Saver in white, Michael's Impeccable Yarns in the color Butterscotch, and Vanna's Choice in the color Fern. To begin our tutorial for our triangle, pull some yarn out to make sure you have enough so that you don't have a tension problem, as I mentioned before in the first video that I did with you. We want to make sure that we have a tail of approximately 8 inches long. And we're going to start with our magic circle. I'm going to place it between our finger and our thumb, wrap it around our 2 fingers until we have a cross. Go under the top one, pull it through, and then make like a chain stitch. And then snug it up and tighten your tension on your hook. Moving on, we're going to create chain stitching. This will help rise up to the level that we need. To make a chain stitch, you go over and through. That is 1. Over, notice how I'm twisting the hook down. That's 2, and that's 3. 3 will make the height of the of the double crochet that we need. In the beginning, sometimes we have to do chain stitching for the stitch height as well as for the spacing that's needed to go in between 1 double crochet and maybe 3 double crochets. So after our 3, we're going to chain 2. This will be our spacing. So of this 5 chains that we placed here, 3 are the double crochet and 2 is the spacing. Then we're going to go ahead and start placing our double crochets into our magic circle. To make our double crochet, place your finger on the loop that's on your hook, wrap your yarn around the hook, take the point of the hook and go through the magic circle, pull the yarn through and up, and you'll have 3 loops on the hook. To complete this double crochet stitch, we're going to take our yarn, go over the hook, and bring it through the 2 loops that were on the hook. We have 2 loops left. We're going to yarn over the hook again, twist it, and pull it through the next 2 loops. We have 1 double crochet. Let's do this again. Finger on the loop, wrap the yarn over the hook, through the circle, pull up a loop. We have 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Let's do this one more time. Yarn over. Okay, we pulled it through the circle, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops. We have our first granny, which is 3 double crochets. So you notice how our tail is kind of twisting into our circle here. We can go ahead and pull it out. Now to wrap the yarn around your hand, I bring it up so that it comes from under my hand. It goes over my little finger, between my ring finger and little finger, and then I wrap it around my little finger and go up and in between my pointy finger and the second finger, and then bring it over. Your little finger helps control the tension depending on how you put it next to your ring finger. It all works together. It does take practice. I pointed those things out in our first video. I hope you had a chance to see that. Now, to continue on, we're going to chain 2. This chain 2 for this will be our triangle. And now we're going to place 3 more double crochets into our magic circle. So, finger on the loop, wrap the yarn around the hook goes into the center of the circle, go behind, pick up the yarn. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, and we're going to do another double crochet through 2, through 2, yarn over, through 2, and through 2. And this is what we have so far. We have the 5 chain, remembering that the first 3 pretends to be the double crochet with our chain 2 spacing. We have 3 double crochets with chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Let's continue on till we can get our first row completed. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to add 1 double crochet. This double crochet will be used for if you ever needed to add stitches for like a border. It will be here without it interfering with the design of the granny. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tighten our granny square with of our magic circle. So place your finger and thumb on top of the stitches that we have here and pull. Don't pull so tight that it is too tight, because we want to make it so that the chain 5 and the double crochet are like a straight line. We'll be weaving this in later to help reinforce our triangle through here. Now this particular block we will be flipping from front side to back side. It's okay, because a lot of times we have to do that because of the color that we're going to be using. So the next thing we're going to do is chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This chain 5 consists of the 1 double crochet and the chain 2, which is the spacing that we need. So let's flip our block over. I'm right-handed, so I flip mine towards the left. And you'll see that in this space that we created from the chain 2, we're going to start our increase. So let's place 3 double crochets inside that space. The yarn over through the space, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. 1 double crochet. Here's 2, and here's 1 more. Okay, this is our increase. To move over the 3 double crochets from the previous row, we're going to chain 2. The reason why we chain 2 is because when we put our corner in, it fans out, so we don't have to put a chain 3 there. This chain 2 that's in the center above our magic circle is considered our corner. Let me pull over our square from our previous block, and if you notice, if I held it in this direction and folded it into a half, you can see how our triangle is going to have the double only in the center, while our singles will be along the edge. And this is the shape that we're going to be making for this particular triangle. I have another triangle that I'll be showing you how to do in another video. So we're going to do our corner. Our corner consists of 2 sets or 2 groups of 3 double crochets and chain 2. So we have our chain 2. Here's 1 double crochet, and here's our second double crochet and our third double crochet. So now to bring it over, we're going to chain 2, place 3 more double crochets in that same space, 1, 2, and 3. And here you can see that we have our corner. Chain 2, 1, 2, and in the space that we've created from the chain 5 from the previous row, we're going to place our 3 double crochets in that space. So here's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Now, in order for us to have support to build up, we have to add the 1 extra double crochet. So chain 1 and place 1 double crochet in the same space. So basically it's like adding 4 double crochets in that one space. Okay, and since we only needed 2 rows of this particular color for white, we're going to stop here, and I'm going to show you how to finish the white off. So to complete this row, let's put out an 8-inch tail. And remember, the reasons why we use such a long tail is because when we have our tapestry needle, we want to make sure that we have enough length so that we can weave it in and out without it interfering with the length of the needle. Okay, so after we've gotten this far, you notice how our magic circle is starting to open up a little bit. We're going to take time now and weave it in. So go ahead and close it up till you have just a little tiny opening right here. And we're going to take out our tapestry needle. To load the yarn into our tapestry needle, place the yarn between your 4 fingers. Take your needle, come up and pinch it down, and then pinch it at the bottom of that needle where the yarn overlaps. Pull the needle out and work that folded yarn between the eye of the needle. You'll find that it's easier than trying to take a cut edge, which will cause it to fray or snag. Our yarn comes out on this end, so we want to insert the yarn into the other side and go totally around all of our stitches. This will help reinforce the stitches for whatever future use our project may have be involved with. And we can go ahead and go 3 or 4 times Or you can do like I'm going to do. I went through again and I'm going to skip over this top stitch and I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to come over on the other side. I'm going to go through all of them. I'm going to skip over that top stitch and go back. And then cut it. And here we have our beginning for our triangle. Let's move on to our next color, which will be yellow. Now with our yellow, we want to pull a little bit out of the skein. Oh, see what I got here? That was not planned. It sometimes happens because of the way it's woven in, and that's the reason why it's a good idea to go ahead and pull just a little out at a time when needed for our project. Now we're going to make a slip knot. Let's wrap it around our finger, take our hook, go under, pull back, take your finger out of that loop and tighten it up. And then we'll go ahead and tighten it onto the hook. And here we have our slip knot. Similar to a magic circle, except we don't leave the center open. Now on this triangle, we can start in either place. We can start on this side or we can start on this side. I'm going to start on this side because this side has the finishing and we need to weave in those ends. So to eliminate any kind of bulk or extra tightness or something, it's better to start on the opposite side. So I'm going to start over here, and we're going to place our finger on our slip knot, insert our hook into the chain 5 opening. With our working yarn, go ahead and place it on your hands, pull up a loop, snug it down a little, and then go through the loop that was on your hook. And we're going to chain 5. The chain 5, remember, will consist of our double crochet and our chain 2 for the spacing. I think you're going to find that this is a very simple block, and since you've already have the concept of how the granny square works, you'll find that this one's going to be very simple as well. So wrap your yarn around and let's place 3 double crochets in the chain 5 space. We have 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So this is what we have so far. And let's chain 2. This was our increase for this particular row. You'll notice that our double is over here. This is our corner. So our diagonal going up the center. Here's our space for our next granny. And we're going to place 3 double crochets into this space. And chain 2. So if I was to bring up our granny block from before, here's our center. See where my finger is? And here's the next row. So we're working on this row, which means we've had 2 because this one goes down a different row. So we got 2, which we have here. And now we're ready for our corner. So here's our corner. Let's place 3 double crochets and then chain 2, and then we'll place 3 more double crochets. Remember to slide your work over on those chain 2s for the corner, and here I need to pull more yarn out. Okay, so let's add our 3 doubles now. Double crochet. You'll notice that in this one we will not use any half double crochets because we're not going up a row the same as we did with the square. Chain 2. Now in our next space is where our 3 doubles go. And I hope you're catching on with this. I hope that you had a chance to see the square and that made it easy for you to understand the process of this particular block as well. Chain 2. Okay, now in this chain 1 space, it's going to get a little tight, but we're going to be adding 3 double crochets and chain 1 and then the 1 double crochet. So like I said, it's going to get a little tight, but that's the way it works so that we don't have too much bulk. Now you might want to pull your tail out of the way from the previous color. There's 2, there's 3, chain 1, and then in that same space slide everything over. We're going to add 1 more double crochet, and like I said before, this will be for any kind of borders, any add-on, and it won't interfere with the granny itself. And we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we have our work this way. We're flipping it towards the left, and now we're going to start our second row of yellow, which, do you remember how to count? We have row 1, row 2 because we have 2, and row 3 because we have 3 grannies. So now we're going to be on row 4, or in this case our second row of yellow. So let's place 3 grannies in that chain 1 space. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, and we're going to chain 2. Okay, continue down till you get to here, to the end, and I'll meet you there because I believe that you can do this. When we get to that corner, I'll go over it with you. Alright, I've completed my side of row 4, and here we are into this corner. After our chain 2, we're going to place 3 double crochets into this chain 5 space. Okay, chain 1, and then we're going to add 1 double crochet. Okay, and since we only needed the 2 rows of the yellow, we're going to cut us a tail, and we're going to pull it through. Now you will find that through here you're going to have to do some adjusting, so take it and pull. That's the only thing I can suggest, and you'll see that it'll all turn out okay. Let's go on to our green. Okay, here we are with the green. Let's pull some out, and with our tail we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot. Now I'm going to show you how to make a slip knot without using the hook. You take it, wrap it around your finger, lift up the tail part, the one that goes under, and you can push that one through so that you have a loop with like an overhand knot, and then pull the tail and it'll tighten that overhand knot. And then you can insert your hook into the loop and find your working yarn and tighten it onto the hook. And that can be an easy way too, without having to use your hook to create a slip knot. So as before, I'm going to start on the side without the ending. I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to pull up a loop. I'm going to get my tail and everything out of the way. And then I'm going to take that loop and go through the loop that was on my hook. Okay, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so are you familiar with this now? I think you are. In this chain 5 space, remember the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. The chain 2 is the spacing between the two. So in this chain 5 space, we add what? That's right, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. This is our increase for this particular row. Chain 2. Okay, and in each one of these chain 2 spaces, we're going to be adding more and more as each row continues. Now this particular triangle, I am stopping at this row for this beginner series. We will be making a project from these particular blocks that you're learning, so I hope you stay with me in the process of all of this. So here's our chain 2, and we've chained 2 on our green. So in our chain 2 space, let's add 3 double crochets. I do hope that you have found this block to be just as simple as the granny. It's just a little different for along the edge right here. So continue on, and I'll meet you back here where we will finish this block off, and I'll show you how to weave in the ends for this triangle block. All right, I finished my side. Now we're going to do the corner, or I should say the end of our triangle. I've chained 2 here. So in our chain 1 space, we're going to add what? That's right, 3 double crochets. I know you feel funny talking to a video, huh? Okay, chain 1 and then the 1 double crochet. And that'll be for our border or whatever we use it for. Okay? And add ourselves a tail, cut our yarn, and then pull it through. And here we have our triangle. Whoops, got snagged on my fingers here. All right, now I'm going to place our triangle on top of our square. What do you see? Oh, you can't tell unless you see the line, huh? Wasn't that something? All right, so here we have our square from our first video, and now our triangle from our second video. Let's get ready to weave our ends in. All right, turn your block to the wrong side, and I'm going to start with the green one. Okay, you remember how we load our needle onto our hook, our yarn onto our needle, fold it in half, take the folded end and work it through the eye of the needle and pull it through. Now for this end here, I'm just going to go through the 4 double crochets that are here on the end. So I go through this one, remember to stretch it a little bit, and then go over that last stitch and then through the center of the other stitches. We're going to do that a couple of times. Go over that last one. Remember to keep it snug so it's not too tight, and then over and through. Alright, and you can do that to the rest of yours so that I don't bore you in this video. But here we have our triangle. Thank you so much for watching. There will be more granny blocks in this series. I hope you join me. At the end of the series, we will join these blocks together and making a project out of them. Of course, we will be making multiples of these so that you have these videos to refer to create more of these particular blocks as required for the item that we're going to be making. I hope to see you again, and thank you so much for watching.